Hello, YouTube.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome back to Living... I almost did it again.
Oh, jeez. Not there yet. We're not to 2,000 subscribers.
No, right. Welcome back to Libido Loca Reactions. Sorry, I'm like sick because of this guy.
Whatever.
I'm Corinne Libido.
I'm not the harbinger of disease.
You are.
I got it from someone else.
You got it from your kids. Kids have like super viruses.
I don't know. I might have got it from my wife. She might have been the first. I don't know.
That's fair. Anyway, I'm Corinne Libido.
I'm Nick Libido. And I'm healthier than her.
Because you had it longer. Anyway, we're siblings, if you couldn't tell from our amazing dynamic.
And how we interrupt each other.
We're siblings who react to music.
And we're like Twinkies wearing black.
We are.
In the middle of summer.
You changed your shirt.
Well, because my son was doing water table. He was soaked. I had to pick him up to carry him in. So I was soaked. So I had to, I changed.
Fair enough. Anyway, we like to interrupt and go on tangents. And intro.
Because you want to hear that.
For.
Yes.
This is why you guys.
Yep. It's what you're here for.
Slowly trickle in. And Anyway, so we like to do a music exchange with one another. That for years and years, our sibling dynamic was to share music with one another, and we decided to create a reaction channel because of that. So today, actually this week, for those of you who follow us, so like Mike and Rachel, we see
all two of you.
All two of you.
Hey, we appreciate it.
We love you so much.
It's like 2 on 2, right?
Yeah, you're
1-to-1 ratio here. Yeah.
We are doing the Money Game series this week. So the reason why I kind of convinced Nick to do this particular week is because of the UMG stuff. So those of you who follow a lot of reaction channels are probably seeing a lot of reactors talk about this.
And real quick, by the way, to our first subscriber, Janny Jance, she wanted the Money Games like forever ago.
Janny Jance.
That's for you. This is for you.
This is definitely for you. And she always shows up for every run video. So hi, this is definitely for you. We love you. Our very first subscriber and commenter. Anyway, there you go. Interrupting my stream of thought again. Siblings. Oh my gosh. You guys want a brother? He's free.
You don't want my baggage.
Okay, so we're at least I'm very aware of the UMG stuff. I've been getting Nick up to speed.
And I only have like a cursory. Now I'm aware of like what UMG did with TikTok. I forget how long, maybe a year ago now, where they kind of didn't come to an agreement and for a while froze out their artists from TikTok. And all
just
that.
Stupid. It's stupid. Why would you get rid of free advertisement?
Money.
But it's shooting yourself in the foot.
Know.
So this is why I chose the Money Games, because what a perfect time to really talk about the machine that is run on money and the way that it is self-defeating. Like, this whole thing is so self-destructive. Like, the short-term gain that they think they're getting is actually going to shoot them in the foot in the long term, right?
Yeah.
So now it's the time to talk about this. And what a perfect time to talk about it using Ren, who is safe for a reactor. So we're doing this on a multi-level. One, we're going to be safe because Ren is reactor friendly.
And we're tiny.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's keeping us safe. We're like, we're only at 1,800.
Not only, but still, we appreciate every one of you. Yeah.
Super appreciative. And because we're tiny but mighty, we've been protected for the most part, knock on wood, that continues. And also we've been doing mostly like independent artists. So I think that's also been helping us out. And to keep our Tookuses safe, we're going to probably
at least for this week.
We're going to do Run. Okay,
right.
So let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
What's that?
Captions or...
Hi guys.
Hi. Sorry, we're figuring out captions or not.
I think let's keep the captions on.
Okay.
Yeah, that way you can. Hopefully they're correct. So
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs free, parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they think the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
That's a good place to stop. All right. First impressions.
Well, like this is, another, and obviously this is a series of, it's 3 songs, right?
Yeah.
Detailing, it's like just the struggle with money in general, right?
Sure.
I also think of just in general, and just more on the recording industry side, it is like the eternal struggle since the record industry began, right? Artists and record labels both want to be properly compensated, right? And yes, record labels, they're easy to demonize, I know, but they are a business, which I get, so it is, this is, and again, I think he's not just in the, right?
No, this
is more of a
commentary on money and systems.
Right. Yeah. But I just on a narrower scope, it is interesting. It's like there have been many songs, kind of that detailed struggle. Ray's one, the detailed struggle with their label. So I don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting on everyone's level and how they the commentary on it, what they say,
right?
And how they go about it. So
yeah.
So, and again, sorry, that sounds like I'm talking in circles, but like just from what I'm just the 2 minutes or so that we're in, like, it's starting to, he's kind of like setting the stage, right? We're setting the groundwork for the larger conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what do you like the visuals of this, like what?
Okay, I'm terrible with metaphors. There's a point, right? He stopped him, right? I get the the musician with the
which that's Romaine.
Right? Is that Romaine?
Yeah.
But is the bat? What's the bat? Like why did he stop him with a rubber glove? So that's where I'm sorry, I'm so dense on metaphors. I don't get it at all. So
with the why did he smack?
Yeah, was there a reason? Because you talked about it being theater, in a way.
Yeah.
So what was the reason? Is there a reasoning? Is there a metaphor? I guess I should ask.
For stopping him and hitting him with
just
the
like
rubber
that.
gloves.
Yeah, that whole sequence, and then picking up the bat, and.
Right. So I would say instead of just don't worry about that one little moment, but the entire thing is like this. You have the person with the bag on their head, which okay, and this is just my interpretation, right? I'm not saying this is what Ren is saying.
That's why music's so great. You can interpret it how you want it.
Right. That's the beauty of art. That, bag over the head is the population that is beholden to a system that is actually like held captive by the system.
Okay.
And Ren, in his own way, is representing the hierarchy and power structures that are keeping the populace beholden in their situation.
Okay. Gotcha.
And like the bat is to constantly threaten and coerce the compliance of a populace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
There you go.
and it's a conversation between conversation because back over the head and they're just playing the guitar
Right,
and
right.
he's doing all the talking and yet they're in conversation that they're in relationship with one another.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So hopefully you guys got that.
Or maybe what's your interpretation?
Or what's
of
your
it?
interpretation?
Or
yeah.
hold on. Let's get through.
We're gonna
that.
get through this. Yeah.
Reserve your interpretations for when we're done here.
All right, let's go.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate. When they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak, our opinions are our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 a storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
Cool, right?
Yeah. What just happened?
What'd you do?
I don't know what I just did. Hit one wrong button.
Yeah,
There we
seriously. Okay. All right. Go for it.
go. He's very right. It talks about. It's funny how things exist in patterns, right? In the cycle of history, right, which is a well-used term, right?
Yeah.
and essentially the cycle of fear and ignorance and what it leads to, right? And the feelings that it causes and what happens as a result, and the fight for equality, that just will never probably end. But yeah, it's very interesting because he's right. He's talking about the history, right?
Yeah.
That the colonization and all that, and despite who owns who, and we demonize minority groups or just those who are easy scapegoats,
yes,
and all that. So that was definitely very interesting. The last part I will leave to you, because I'm sorry, I'm terrible with getting, I am dense like that. So
you're not. It was your first time.
Yeah. So I will leave the meaning of
all that for me.
All that for you.
Okay. But overall impressions, the theater of it, were you enthralled, or were you kind of
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's a multi-talented individual, and he's very good at just laying it out there for you, and saying, and saying, oh crap. Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's okay.
Yeah, ADD in there, so.
Yeah, and it's early in the morning for us. So, okay, cool. So I'm going to take over from here.
Please do.
I have watched this quite a few times, and it's really interesting because I don't completely agree with his assessment. And so again, I've said in previous videos, my background is in political science, and so I had to take a lot of economics classes and that kind of thing. The other thing is what's interesting for me, is that there is this assumption that is kind of said over and over again through our society of money corrupting, money, turns a saint into a killer and all of that. And I think that's really interesting because I actually think that belief system is part of the problem, because money in of itself is a neutral thing.
So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. That if you have that belief system, and you especially since that gets installed in us as children,
right,
it's going to play itself out, especially when left unexamined. I think what's interesting is that money actually does is reveal, and people talk about this with power too, because money is an impetus for power, right? Power does not corrupt, power reveals. So if you have a series of belief systems that have been installed in you as a child, which when we get to Money Game 3, he kind of looks at that, you are going to play it out in whatever way. Now, if you believe that money is the root of all evil, chances are you're going to have an aversion to it, right? And then you're going to make the series of decisions that then keep you either in poverty, or you could only go so far. If you have a belief system where money is the end, either you have money or you are nothing, then you are going to ruthlessly pursue money and power, and it's going to reveal who you are, right? And so if you change the narrative, then you change your relationship with money. Money in itself is neutral, but your belief systems about it is what shows up. So all of that, sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. All of that aside, so I just want you guys to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Getting back to the video, what's really interesting to me is that going on what I said before, if Ren represents the power structures that keep things in place, and Romaine with the bag on his head represents the populace, what's interesting is that all times it looks like Ren has all the power.
Right.
But at any moment, the populace could just stand up, put the guitar down, and leave.
Right.
There's nothing actually keeping him in that chair other than the fear of being hurt.
Right.
But at any point, he could just go. The power is still within the populace, but the belief system is keeping them in the chair. Okay. Right. But what's interesting is that you have Ren, who is threatening, he's doing whatever he can, but eventually draws the circles that is what's the word? Like a simulacrum or no, that's
I don't know.
like
I don't know that. Yeah.
a fake eyes.
Right.
But then goes on to self-destruct. And I love that he does that because like he sets himself on fire instead of the populace, because again, in the end, those power structures are self-cannibalizing. They are meant for self-destruction because you can only go so far. You can only threaten and coerce so long before people are like, nah, right? And so that I loved that bit of metaphor that happened there. So anyway, there you go. So there you go.
Yeah.
I know that was really, really long, but like this is like rich. I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but we have 2 more to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to like start there. Let's talk about belief systems, because we're so used to thinking of belief systems in terms of like religion and that kind of thing, but it's much more in depth and it's much more insidious because it's like the smaller belief systems.
And money is a belief system. Money is just
feeds
a concept,
into it.
right?
Money is just a concept.
It's just a concept that we all buy into.
Exactly.
Right? And we all buy into the value of it and how we determine the value.
That.
So
yeah,
you know,
like, and literally at this point where we have digital money, there's nothing backing it, and even if there's something backing it, we're still ascribing value.
Thin air.
Yeah,
it's something out of thin air.
Yeah,
and we Jedi mind tricked ourselves.
Exactly.
Saying like, hey,
through conditioning.
Yeah.
This is it's a collective agreement.
Yep.
So what happens when we stop agreeing? All right, let's get into part 2.
That's when we set ourselves on fire. Yeah.
That's when the structure's set on fire.
Yes. Yes. So,
all right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2. Yes.
It's coming up. So we're going to put this. I don't know how we're going to release this, but I think this is going to be our week. Yeah. Within a week. So if we do either one a day or one every other day, we'll see. You'll see.
It might be every other day. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
So stay tuned.
Right. We love you.
Until then, YouTube, take care, like and subscribe, share, all the good stuff.
Yep.
Support your artists. And yeah.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.